Wigan could really go for it tonight.
Well, it looks like Sean Maloney has set up his side with a back four, a statement of intent. They have been playing a five recently with mixed fortunes. We know what we're going to get from Manchester United in terms of shape, in terms of positions for the most part. What we don't know is any sort of consistency, which Manchester United is going to turn up here at the DW Stadium on a bitterly cold night. Wigan in the huddle. Manchester United ready to get this final FA Cup third round tie underway. And they both know their fate with the draw for the Emirates FA Cup fourth round made just before kickoff here. It'll be Newport of League Two or Eastleigh of the National League who await the winners of this one. The Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes stands over the ball. An FA Cup third round that has spanned 5 days. Last Thursday it was that Crystal Palace and Everton got this third round underway, and this tie to finish it off. Wigan Athletic of League One, Manchester United of the Premier League. A giant of English football that has been stumbling. How far will they fall tonight, or can they see off what will be a significant threat? Believe the message from Sean Maloney, and you just sense from the atmosphere and indeed from the approach of the players, the way they were warming up, the intensity, that his side might just be buying into that. Here's Rashford for Manchester United. Cheer as Marshall Goddo, a boyhood Manchester United fan, made the first telling challenge of the evening.
I think it's just going to set the tone, Bill, to be honest. Wigan are going to get after Manchester United every opportunity they can, try and unsettle the Premier League team. Got one eye on the pitch here as well. It was never a pitch I enjoyed playing on it. Used to see a lot of rugby action. It could cut up quite easily.
Well, Eric Ten Hag, who's been meeting the new shareholders in Manchester United, the Ineos Group, Sir Jim Radcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, have been at the Carrington training ground. He said it gave them all inspiration. Well, they might need it here as Goddo comes forward. And Onana. Reports are that he won't just be available tonight, he will also be available for their Premier League game against Tottenham next Sunday before he heads off to join up with the Cameroon squad. I think there was some quite considerable lobbying from Manchester United to make sure he was available. Not exactly a show of faith in second choice keeper, the Turkish international Altay Bayindia. Here's the French World Cup winner, the Champions League winner, Raphael Varane. Wan-Bissaka, Garnacho, Manu has to move it quickly, not quickly enough. Claire is onto it here. Now Goddo to run Johnny Evans. Early ball in! And what a chance that was for Asgard to open the scoring. He has his head in his hands, and he may well. That was a terrific opening.
Well, what a taster for what Wigan are going to bring this evening. This is classic FA Cup football. They turn the ball over. Goddo, who already in this first half has just wanted to run behind as soon as Wigan get possession of the ball. He's on his bike, puts a great ball in. What an opportunity. Hits the target, but it's actually a really good save from Onana. Comes out and really just smothers that angle down well.
Well, he's coming in from that left side, Asgard. He is a right footer. You suspect he might have rather had that on his right. But that will give plenty of encouragement.
It's just alarming how easily they turned that over, isn't it? Got at Manchester United. We saw it a little bit against Nottingham Forest at the weekend in the Premier League, but that's just too simple to turn the ball over there and then all of a sudden as a goal-scoring opportunity.
Here's Johnny Evans, an FA Cup winner with Leicester City against Chelsea a couple of years ago. Dalot able to carry forward and find Evans in that left wing position. Not a bad ball in, but it's out by Steven Sessegnon. Now Bruno Fernandes. Rashford. Restored Marcus Rashford to the position where I think most people feel he does his best work, wide on this left-hand side, cutting in.
It's where he's had all his best periods of play, isn't it? You think of the times when he's in form, is certainly coming in from the left-hand side on his right foot, no doubt about it. Looks a back three for Wigan as well, doesn't it? It's like Sessegnon's in that left side centre-back role, with Morrison and Hughes the other two.
Yeah, Jordan Jones just approaching Wan-Bissaka there, the number 14. He plays at left wing back. This is the system they played last time out at Barnsley to pretty good effect. Got a good point there coming from behind. Rashford now for Manchester United. First test for Clare. Morrison stooping to get it out of there. Godot. And Sam Tickle in the Wigan goal. Out to Sean Clare, former Sheffield Wednesday Academy player. One of the older elements of this pretty young Wigan side at the age of 27. Here's that big moment from Asgard.
I mean, he doesn't do too much wrong, does he? Gets clean contact with his left foot. He's trying to just punch that ball underneath the body of Onana, who's actually in the perfect position, really, just to stop that going underneath him, but really good early chance.
Well, his last goal did come in this competition against Exeter. Tapped it in with his left foot on that one. And then picked up an ankle injury which saw him out for 10 games. He's only just on his way back from that. Tello Asgard. Here's Manu into McTominay, who has no space to breathe. They were on him like a flash. That was Liam Shaw.
I mean, that is how Wigan have to approach this game, isn't it? They've got to make it so difficult for Manchester United to be comfortable with the ball, certainly in that middle of the park.
Here's Liam Morrison, Scottish under-21 international, playing at the back. He's actually on loan from Bayern Munich. His parent club knocking Manchester United, or certainly delivering the final blow to their hopes of continuing in Europe past Christmas. Dalot now, that's a neat ball in, looking for Højlund. Garnacho, well met by Sessegnon.
It's a couple of times now. The deliveries coming in from the left-hand side. It's going to be a real challenge for that back three, certainly from crosses in the air. How they deal with those deliveries from wide areas is going to be vital.
Manu. Dalot is getting a good run in the side now in the absence of Luke Shaw on this left. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, his best run in the side since August now, his 4th successive start. Bruno Fernandes. Tickle can bring it in and keep it out at the same time.
I think he knew too much about that, Sessegnon. The ball hits him, goes up in the air. He's in the right place at the right time, but it was a nice delivery from Bruno Fernandes with that right foot curler.
His first season in charge, Erik ten Hag did pretty well in the Cups, didn't he? Won the Carabao Cup, took Manchester United all the way to the FA Cup final this season. It's been a different story, knocked out at home by Newcastle, almost humbled in the last 16 of the EFL Cup. Out of Europe, as we were just touching on. And so it all comes down to this in terms of their hopes of silverware. Claire finding a gap, still going Claire. Fernandez, Rashford. And here's Garnacho, who's offside.
Another nice move from Wigan. Getting in good territory, aren't they? Certainly in wide areas. Here's the offside with Rashford just taking the ball down on the break. I mean, it's been quite open, hasn't it? The opening exchanges, first 9 minutes. Both teams looking dangerous on the attack.
Well, you're absolutely right, Matt, about the approach from Wigan. They've not come here to play like an away side, if you like, soak it up and hope to hit on the counter. They're looking to take the fight to Manchester United, to expose cracks that are inevitably there.
It's like an acceptance that they're not going to have a lot of the ball, are they? They know they're not going to dominate possession in this game. They're happy to sit in this area of the pitch and just hold Manchester United, but at the right moment, if they press together like they have done and go as a team, they can really catch Manchester United out.
Godot with the interception.
He started brightly, hasn't he, Godot?
He's been speaking in the build-up to this game, Martial Godot, the 20-year-old, about how he grew up supporting Manchester United from afar. He was born in Greenwich and raised there in East London. And an admirer of Dimitar Berbatov, he was his favourite player. And to even get up to this level, he has had to go down, playing for Margate in the 7th tier. Fulham spotted something in there, they signed him up, and now a loan spell to continue his development here at the DW Stadium. Good lead by Wan-Bissaka. And Sean Maloney, also a Manchester United supporter as a boy, from afar as he grew up in Glasgow. He's guided his former club through some very choppy waters. When he came in January last year, there was serious doubt as to whether the club would be able to continue as a going concern. 5 times last season, Wigan failed to pay the wages of the players and staff. A takeover by local billionaire Mike Danson, and it's a very different backdrop for them this season, although the crimes, if you like, of the previous administrations in terms of the way that the club was run mean that they've still some way to go before they are safe in League One and can start to move forward again. They started the season with an 8-point deduction.
Such a densely populated area for football clubs, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that area of the country. And Wigan very much a rugby town as well.
Asgard's done that neatly, looking to release Godot. Humphreys makes the run, looking to open space for Godot. Here's Stephen Humphreys. Interesting to hear Sean Maloney talking before the game about what he wanted from Stephen Humphreys. We want the same Stephen Humphreys without the ball that we get with it, implying that he does have a tendency to switch off and watch from afar.
Isn't that most centre forwards?
Yeah. Says former centre half Matthew Upson.
I think if he does something with the ball, he will be happy. I mean, that's his role in the team. I think working from the front, obviously hugely important. And he's such a physical presence as well. If he can add that, I mean, he's got the hold-up playability. I think it's just that running and identifying those moments when he's got to drop into that midfield area.
Well, he was too hot for York City to handle in round 2. Had plenty of chances before he eventually got the goal that decided the game. Lovely flick from Fernandes. This is now Garnacho. It's come to Rashford. Rashford finding space. What a block denying Manchester United, and a fine block as well.
That's a top save. It's a brilliant save, because this shot is flying. Marcus Rashford strikes that, it's through bodies, it's down low into that near post area. He knows exactly where he wants to hit here, Marcus Rashford. He's done it many a time, and that's great anticipation and a really strong hand from Tickle.
Yet to concede in Wigan's FA Cup run. And a fine save to ensure that that continues for now. Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, the two in close attendance for this corner. Rashford. And Godot plots a way out for Wigan. Couldn't find Asgard. No surprise, Matt, to see Manchester United dominating possession, but Wigan have used their 26% of the ball pretty well.
Probably the best chances. Like that one from Rashford's a good effort on goal, but they will not be bothered about that possession stat. It's expected from Wigan's perspective.
Rashford. Morrison met it with a fine header. They're looking for handball, and Anthony Taylor, the referee, agrees with the 7,000 or so Manchester United fans.
It's hard to disagree, wasn't it? The arm just came right up on his right-hand side into the forearm.
Well, it's a ground that's hosted Premier League football, of course, but not for over a decade, so no VAR facilities here, and as such we don't have the video assistant referee in action here tonight. Fernandes stands over it. Off the head of Asgard and that of Humphreys. Rashford. Evans. Bruno Fernandes looking for the run of Højlund.
Just dropping a little bit deep at times, Wigan. That's far too much time for Bruno Fernandes to pick a pass there. If they're going to give him that ocean of space, he will hurt you. It's one thing being defensive, but you've got to get out and put pressure on the ball. The moment it gets into your own half, you've got to get a little bit higher up the pitch.
A bit of a mismatch there between Baba Adiko and Rasmus Højlund, who he's been detailed to look after. In by Fernandes. Just building up a little bit of pressure here, Manchester United. First sustained spell of it in this match. Rashford. Back to Fernandes. McTominay couldn't get there. Evans can, under pressure from Clare. This is Sessegnon. Liam Shaw. Adiko to Godot. Well, it's brave for Wigan to try and play through the Manchester United press. Asgard felt he was fouled by Evans. Anthony Taylor didn't.
It's a key moment there. Asgard's got to get hold of that ball. Not only because Wigan were on the attack, and if he just plays that wide, they're in business, but also just to relieve a little bit of pressure.
Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes to Rashford. Clare doing his best. It's all hands on deck here for Wigan. As Manchester United sense that might be the opening goal coming sooner rather than later.
It's a good tackle from Claire, stays up on his feet really well, gets a toe, wins the ball cleanly. But you can see the numbers back there. It's a little bit frantic from Wigan when Rashford gets the ball. I think that anticipation of what he's capable of.
Another Manchester United corner, met by Asgard at the near post. This is Godot. Jordan Jones. Manu through 2 challenges and now plotting an attack for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes through to Højlund. McTominay takes it and Scott McTominay puts it wide.
Oh, not the finish you'd expect from the top scorer. Brilliant run, really well-timed run into the box. You can see why he's got a lot of goals this season. Times it perfectly. Bruno Fernandes, the ideal person to get his head up and see him, and that looks to me to be a deflection wide of that goal. I think it just skims off the back of the Wigan defender, whether or not it was going wide anyway, but lovely move from Scott McTominay.
Humphries doing enough to allow Asgard to get onto it. Shaw. Adiko. This is Humphries. And now Steven Sessegnon. Composure from Charlie Hughes, one of the academy products from the club that is involved tonight.
They're not launching it long, Wigan, at all, are they? When the opportunity's on, they're more than comfortable just to play out from the back and use Tickle in goal just to keep possession.
Yeah, they're trying to dance to the beat of their own drum here, aren't they, Wigan? Humphries showed too much of that to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. McTominay. A little bit of space with which to work. He's found Bruno Fernandes. Now Garnacho. Højlund waited. Rashford has a go. Claire with the block. Now back to Dalot. Dalot goes for the curler and finds the corner. Diogo Dalot with a breakthrough at the DW. The Manchester United pressure pays off, and a fine finish to give the Premier League side the lead.
Well, it's been a great start to the game, really enjoyable. Both teams having a go, but the pressure has just told. They win the ball. I thought that might have been offside, but you can see there the ball in then from Garnacho was excellent. Defended brilliantly, actually, because I thought Højlund was going to get on the end of it. And the moment Dalot slips in there, it's a really well-measured finish, I have to say. There's not much of a gap between all of those players, but he just finds that slot to get the ball through. Really controlled, just passes it into that far corner. There's no way Tickle is going to get there. It's a lovely finish from Dalot.
As it was for his previous goal this season, the winner at Sheffield United. In a sense, it's an evening where Erik ten Hag would have said to his players, let's make sure we do get that first goal. You know, when you've lost 5 of your 9 games in all competitions in the preceding month, so important for Manchester United to get off to a good start here, and that they have, despite that early charge from Asgard, which drew the save from Andre Onana. Manchester United, good value for their lead midway through this first half.
They've done well physically in terms of competing, haven't they? That midfield area, they just physically look like they're going to have the edge on Wigan.
Garnacho. Rashford! Tickle spilled it, but recovered. From our angle, I don't think that crossed the line.
Well, that looked really tight for me. We'll see a better angle on the replay. No, maybe not all the ball. He has a real scramble, doesn't he, Tickle?
All the ball has to be across all of the line. And no one feeling that it was other than that. So it's just one for now. And a challenge from Scott McTominay, full-blooded on Jordan Jones. We're talking to rather than a booking for the Manchester United man.
McTominay, Mainu just dominating that midfield area at the moment. Breaking forwards, winning the ball, all those second balls, those things that he wants his team to get hold of. That's what makes the FA Cup so special, when Wigan, teams like Wigan, can get a hold of it, put pressure on Manchester United and just make it scrappy. At the moment, United really coping well with that.
Godot. Sessegnon. For Jones. Morrison. Looking to find Clare, but Dallo, the goal scorer, is back. Thought he spotted an opportunity to steal that one, did Liam Shaw, but he slightly misjudged it.
Yeah, he's lucky to get away with no yellow card, I think, because it was such an honest attempt for the ball, maybe in the area of the pitch as well. Anthony Taylor's just let that one slide, but he was never going to win that.
Yeah, could easily have come under the umbrella that is reckless, that would have drawn a yellow card, but Anthony Taylor in forgiving mood. Adiko. Evans stole it. And towards Højlund, now Bruno Fernandes, now Rashford, Garnacho wants it. Højlund saw it saved off the legs of Sam Tickle.
It's just too quick, that kind of counter for Wigan. Again, physically just out muscling Wigan in the key area of the pitch, and then they've got the pace and the runners from wide in Garnacho and Rashford looking dangerous.
Jordan Jones, Northern Ireland international, 19 caps to his name. Morrison. First 15 minutes, the Wigan attacks were more regular and brighter, but a chance for Adiko to come forward here, blocked by Varane. Godot now seeking Humphreys, finding Jones. Humphreys to take it on, deflected, and Godot wasn't far away. Whether he was offside, another matter, but certainly a chance there.
I was thinking, why is Humphreys pulled all the way outside the box? Now I can see why. I think he just wanted to get hold of the ball and get a shot off, and that's quite an attempt from Godot just to flick that in. I'm with you, I think it may have been offside, but an effort on goal, and I think Humphreys just needed to get that one out of the system, get hold of the ball and have an effort on goal.
Well, that attack came from misplaced Manchester United pass, but other than that, Wigan, who were creating early on, have struggled to really trouble the Manchester United back line. Garnacho. McTominay. Garnacho. Oh, and Højlund threw everything at that, but couldn't keep his header down.
Wow, he just must be wondering how the net is not bulging. I mean, he does everything right. It's a great run. It's aggressive. It's brave. He makes contact. He just doesn't head it down. Just takes his eye off it at that final moment, maybe feeling he could get clattered by the centre half, but should hit the target there. It's a great opportunity.
On a night that has a feel of an old school FA Cup tie, that would have been an old school FA Cup goal, wouldn't it?
It really would.
Manchester United have gifted it to Wigan and to Humphreys. Shaw. Manu had a head start on Godot.
Well, as far as opportunities go, he's not going to get too many easier than that tonight, you would say. He wanted to continue that goal-scoring form. Well, that's an indicator that he's maybe not quite in that mode at the moment.
6 goals in all competitions this season, 5 in the Champions League. Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, Copenhagen, 1 in the Premier League against Aston Villa. Should have added Wigan to that roll of honour. May yet. No Christian Eriksen involved at all tonight, which means that Kobbie Mainoo has a new partner alongside him in central midfield in Scott McTominay. An attempted turn by Garnacho, saw the Argentinian pulled down by Jones.
I mean, this game really does suit McTominay, though, doesn't it? It's got all the hallmarks of his style, of really impacting the play. There's another opportunity for Manchester United with a set play. Whether or not this is too far out, maybe, for Bruno Fernandes, but you just get that feeling that he might just test Tickle here.
Tickle constructs his wall. Rashford might have an interest in this as well.
It's got that Marcus Rashford kind of dippy feeling about it, up and down. The further out, the easier it is to hit that kind of shot.
Knuckleball style.
That's right.
Rashford takes.
Well, there's the knuckleball. Just not on target. Plenty of swerve and dip and movement. It's amazing how they get that kind of topspin on the ball, almost bouncing it in front of the goalkeeper a lot of the time. Makes it so hard to get the right judgment for the goalkeeper.
Well, one of the few bright spots to come out of the defeat against Nottingham Forest at the end of 2023 was the fact that Marcus Rashford was able to rediscover his touch in front of goal. Still, when you think of the goals he was banging in the second half of last season, a paltry 3 in all competitions in the first half of this, well below expectations.
As a player, though, Bill, I mean, you can't think of many consistent seasons that he's ever had, though. That's always been something that's rumbling along for me with Marcus Rashford. He's very indifferent with his form. He came back from the World Cup last season and was just unplayable, wasn't he?
Yeah, fantastic. 10 in 10 immediately afterwards, wasn't it? Well, it's 8 in his last 42 after 17 in the previous 19, which reflects that spell just after the World Cup. He's come close tonight. Marcus Rashford drawing a smart save from Sam Tickle, who has now been beaten in this FA Cup run. Clean sheets both against Exeter at St James's Park in the southwest of the country, and against York across the Pennines. Manu, Garnacho, able to get it through to Rashford. Manu. Asgard might get another bite at it. Does rather better the second time and wins a free kick for his side. Garnacho steaming into the back of him.
Well, they're looking to Asgard to provide a bit of creativity, a bit of quality with the ball. When he gets on it, he needs to just keep possession a little bit better. He's given it away loosely a couple of times.
Shaw looking to duck beyond Manu, who's had the answer so far. There's that physicality in midfield you were talking about, Matt. Manchester United prevailing again. Now Rashford, Tickle with the save, and Højlund stumbling onto it, guides it wide.
You might have the feeling it might not be Højlund's night in front of goal. Another opportunity for Rashford. He's just loving it at the moment, coming in from this area, getting shots off. Test Tickle, who can just parry it down into a really dangerous area, and how that hasn't just hit him in the knee. Højlund had gone in the back of the net. I'm sure he'd be scratching his head. It does stem from that kind of half challenge from Humphreys in the midfield. That's what he's talking about, a defensive responsibility.
This is good from Garnacho. Højlund with the touch. McTominay couldn't find the finish. Still, this second proves elusive for Manchester United. Somehow Wigan keep the deficit to just the one. And the relief of a free kick in the opposition half.
They're pulling Wigan to pieces at will at the moment. They've got to get a hold of themselves, Wigan, and just get together. It's too easy. They lose that ball in the middle of the park and they're just stretched, and the quality of Manchester United is starting to shine through.
And Marcus Rashford upending Marshall Godot. That'll be a free kick in a pretty tidy position here for the League One side.
And he has been a real bright spark, isn't he, Godot? He's been their best player so far for me. Every time he's got the ball, he's been tidy, he's kept possession, looked a threat going forwards, and he's produced an opportunity for Wigan to ask a question, really, of Manchester United. Are they going to stand up with this set play? It needs to be a good delivery. I'd be surprised if Humphreys doesn't get in the box. I mean, he's a big physical presence.
Yeah. Just look at the lineup there. Manchester United are a big side, aren't they? We can have a few more diminutive players. I agree about Stephen Humphreys.
Why would you be out wide there? You're a goal-scoring centre forward who's got a bit of a physical presence.
Maybe we'll get the answer here.
Yeah.
Humphreys has carved out a corner for his side.
It's clearly just the confidence that he's going to have a shot on goal from the edge of the box, even, you know, left foot, right foot. That's what he wants. He wants to get shots off and on target, even if it's just through bodies with deflections and ricochets. He's there again.
Not sure what the issue is there. I think the ball deemed to be outside the quadrant when he took it.
It's not often that gets flagged up anymore.
Godot. That's there to be attacked. The hit came from the centre half, Charlie Hughes. Hughes, who does have a couple of goals this season, but First came in August, the last came in October in the defeat of Burton Albion. Better spell this from Wigan. Right on cue, Godot gives it to Hoyland. Runners right and left. Bruno Fernandes. That's a really important block by Babaradiko.
Yeah, great cover. Exactly what you want from your midfield player. Senses the danger, gets across and just deals with it. I put the curse on Godot though, didn't I?
Yeah.
The moment you say somebody's playing well and not giving the ball away, it's bound to happen.
Varane. Garnacho rattles the crossbar. That was a mighty fine effort.
What a hit. A little bit unexpected as well. Took it early. I mean, that is a sweet strike because he's swiveling his body as well. He's got to get his hips round that. It's not a straight strike either, is it? It's got a lovely bit of curve to it. Way past the reach of Tickle. I think if that had just been a little bit underneath, I don't think Tickle would have tipped that over. He'd have needed arms like Mr. Tickle, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would have done. Humphreys just failing to bring it under his spell. Well, the direction of traffic at the moment, Sean Maloney and Wigan will settle if they can go into half-time without further damage. It's a big if, though. Hughes. Humphreys. Mallow matched the run of Godot well.
And they're the moments for Wigan, they're really crucial moments. Got to try and get hold of the ball, be stronger, be more solid with that touch. It's got to be vital.
Rashford. Too much on that as he looked for Dalot.
It's the earlier hit from Hoyland on the run. Tickle anticipating that, and there's the one that's got to hit the back of the net. I mean, takes his eye off it. That one there as well, maybe just a reaction and maybe a little bit more time than what we thought in front of goal for Hoyland. That's what he thinks of it.
A hat-trick of misses.
Yeah. And the key is you're getting in the right place at the right time. You've got to keep believing that as a striker.
He's in the middle here with Fernandes looking for him. And this time it's Scott McTominay who doesn't accept the invitation.
And you're starting to get a real long list of opportunities here for Manchester United. It stays at 1-0. But McTominay arriving brilliantly, gets above everyone, and he just mistimes it. He almost gets too high over the ball. I think he expects the touch from the Wigan defender, just take that away from him, and he's not quite ready just to punch that one on target. Great opportunity again.
On by Asgard, out by Varane. There's going to be too much time tagged on at the end of this half. We're getting word it'll only be 1 minute.
It's been a really free-flowing game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the first half.
We saw a third-round tie on Sunday afternoon, didn't we, when one side dominated the chances in the first half and failed to take them and ended up paying the price. That was your old club Arsenal against Liverpool. Manchester United have scored one, but they have not taken the opportunity to effectively put this tie to bed. Wan-Bissaka. I haven't seen him this far forward too often. Garnacho. Driving for the byline. Sessegnon getting a goal kick.
Yeah, good work from Sessegnon, not allowing Garnacho the space just to dig that cross in. They've really thrived from crosses in this first half, actually. Manchester United not shy of just putting that ball in early, him especially. He's delivered it nicely for Højlund a couple of times.
Well, in we go to that one added minute.
The referees indicated that we have a minimum of 1 minute added time. 1 minute added time.
Well, Wigan's big moment came in the opening minutes of the match, didn't it, with the score at 0-0. McTominay to Dalot. Rashford. Off target from Bruno Fernandes. And that's probably that for this first period. What do you think the moods, Matt, in the respective dressing rooms will be?
I think maybe one of relief for Wigan, for sure. After a really bright start, they've been massively outplayed. I mean, he'll be pretty happy with his team. There's not much more they could have done in this game other than stick the ball in the back of the net, because they've competed really well.
One goal in the first half at the DW Stadium, and Manchester United lead. Halfway through the first half, Diogo Dalot with his second of the season. But it could have been so much more for Manchester United. Højlund with a hat-trick of chances that he failed to take. And there were several other opportunities for Manchester United to be out of sight. But it's just one at the break. Half-time at the DW Stadium. It is Wigan Athletic 0, Manchester United 1. Welcome back to the DW Stadium. Wigan Athletic 0, Manchester United 1, the half-time scoreline. And although they're behind, there'll be plenty of positives. That Sean Maloney has been reminding his players of the fact that they are still in this tie. Trip to Newport County or Eastleigh awaits the winners. Manchester United in the box seat at the moment, courtesy of that Diogo Dalot first half goal. No half-time changes to tell you about. Do you think, Matt, we'll see a change of approach from the home side?
I think you need to see a change of the way they're going about handling that midfield area. It's been too easy for Manchester United just to take the ball off of the Wigan players at any moment, and then they're breaking into that space and making life very difficult for that back five. So I think a little bit more sure, a little bit more solid in the middle of the pitch. It's going to help Wigan, and also to build going forwards as well, to maybe just get a little bit more of the ball.
Wan-Bissaka, Højlund. Manu. And this is Garnacho. Couldn't quite keep it in. Wigan come into this after a pretty indifferent Christmas period. You look back over the last 6 games, they failed to score in 3 of them. They only managed to win 1 of them, and that was here against Carlisle in their last home game. Second goal for Manchester United, given recent Wigan form, would be a very, very tough hill for Wigan to scale, approaching the mountainous.
Yeah, I mean, you just feel that Wigan need to keep it at this for as long as possible, and then that pressure just builds a little bit on Manchester United at that point to not concede. I think a goal for United, as you say, would be terminal for Wigan, given their form and where they're at this season.
Manu to Bruno Fernandes. McTominay. Garnacho. Gallo. Manu. Wan-Bissaka. Varane. Manchester United encamped inside the Wigan half. Just looking at that back four is Dalot. Just on the edge of the D. Rashford, lovely feint, pretty good effort, but he's put it wide.
It just doesn't get the right kind of contact. There's a lovely feint, but then the strike is always cutting across that, doesn't catch it cleanly.
Goal he got against Forest last time out, Marcus Rashford, his first from open play for the best part of 4 months.
And that's incredible, really. A player of his quality. It's a sign of the suffering that Manchester United have done this season.
I believe was the pre-match message from Sean Maloney. It's been written on the outside of the DW Stadium that the fans and players would have seen as they arrived. Belief will have been tested at times in that first half by the barrage of Manchester United chances, but also boosted by the fact that those chances weren't taken.
I mean, Wigan look like they're setting up a little bit differently, with Humphreys just dropping in to fill that midfield role a little bit more out of possession. Godot on the left-hand side of like a front three, really. And Asgard stepping out and pressing more centrally. Whether or not that is to combat that area of the pitch that they've been really second best in that first half.
I guess the first thing for Sean Maloney to address was the ease with which Manchester United were getting through them.
Absolutely, just take that element away, and then let's see if we can cope and defend well as a group, and then hit them on the break when it's on.
Well aware, having looked at the Manchester United team sheet, that because of all their absentees, one thing they don't have is a host of experienced game changers on their bench. You look at the outfield players, and they've named 2 goalkeepers in the Turkish international retired by India and Tom Heaton. Then you've got Hannibal, Shola Shoretire, who's barely played half a dozen games for the club. Joe Hugel, a striker who's yet to make his debut. The centre-half, who we've seen a couple of times in recent weeks, Willy Kambwala. Mari Fossen, a 19-year-old midfielder who's never played for the club. Likewise, the 20-year-old centre-half, Reece Bennett. Rashford, though. McTominay hit the back of Garnacho. Jones has given it back to Wan-Bissaka. We can't find Bruno Fernandes.
He's just got away with that loose touch there, Jones. Could have easily just slotted into Wan-Bissaka's path, and Manchester United would be on the attack again.
Well, these two clubs have met once before in the FA Cup. United eased to a 4-0 victory. That was in the 2017 FA Cup fourth round. Marouane Fellaini, Chris Smalling, Henrik Mkhitaryan and Bastian Schweinsteiger all on the score sheet. Very much one-way traffic in Manchester United's direction in terms of the results when Wigan and Manchester United have met. 19 meetings, 18 Manchester United wins, 1 Wigan win, and the scorer of the winner, a lovely curled effort from range, the current Wigan Athletic head coach, Sean Maloney. Lovely over by Bruno Fernandes, who gets the return. McTominay, Garnacho.
There's that physicality again that Manchester United have shown impressively in this game. Actually, they've just brushed Wigan aside at times when somebody's trying to go past them, or there's a 50-50 to be won.
Rashford thought he'd got away from Sean Clare, but the Wigan number 7 just got a toe in, so Manchester United have the corner.
Yeah, they're sitting very deep as well. Wigan, the back 4 or back 3 need to get up a little bit.
Bruno Fernandes lofts it in. McTominay tries to keep it in.
There's that lovely over from Bruno Fernandes, lets it go, takes the return pass from Højlund, but just can't get the shot off cleanly. I mean, there's lots of bodies in there. Wigan have got numbers back, but they're just very, very deep.
Humphries missed it, but it might turn out okay for Asgard. No way beyond the experience of Johnny Evans. Asgard sneaked in here, found Godot, who wasn't quite ready for it.
Just don't think he expected it, did he?
Yeah.
Manchester United defender right in front of him. Maybe that was off-putting for him, but they're the kind of moments you need to capitalise on. They're not having many moments where they're getting into the 18-yard box of Manchester United.
Adiko. They're going to appear encouraged by their recent forward forays. Here's Jones. Godot.
Not a bad ball. He's applauding it. A little bit too high for Asgard. He's never going to get over the top of this, but exactly the right kind of angle for that ball to come in from the left-hand side.
Well, they kicked off their FA Cup adventure in November in round 1, Wigan, with goals from Asgard and Steven Sessegnon, a 2-0 win at Exeter last month. Stephen Humphries got the winner at York City. The Premier League side, the 12 times winners of the FA Cup, leading 10 minutes into this second half. Morrison getting the better of Rashford. Shaw. Dalot. Manu. Humphries. Asgard. Evans with the touch. Deco in a wrestle with Højlund. This is now Bruno Fernandes. Rashford. Goal kick.
He just delayed a little bit too long there, Marcus Rashford, from getting that ball in. Couldn't quite find the appropriate moment or gap to get his cross in. The ball just creeps over the goal line.
It's not just been a recent rarity to see Manchester United play at this ground. It's been a recent rarity to see Manchester United in a domestic cup play at any ground other than Old Trafford. It's an extraordinary record lasting 3 years where they haven't played a domestic cup tie other than Wembley in semi-finals and finals for 3 years since they were drawn against Derby in the 5th round in March 2020. 12 consecutive home draws. Well, there's movement down on that Wigan bench, and the experienced Northern Ireland international Josh Magennis is going to come on in a moment. Varane is down. That's why. Flailing arm from Tello Asgard.
Yeah, it's more kind of a hand, isn't it, than a forearm or an elbow. Just catches Varane flush in the face.
Some chance for the Wigan players to come over and have a drink and take on some instruction. Will they use this opportunity to make their change? It looks like it's going to be Josh Magennis on for Stephen Humphreys.
Humphreys maybe hasn't really put himself about in the fashion that maybe Wigan would have liked, and not quite had the impact of him being in the team. As we see that the only goal that separates these two teams at the moment, and as long as it stays like that, Wigan are in this cup tie. No matter how dominant Manchester United are in possession, that 1-0 scoreline is never enough.
There is Josh Magennis. 76 times capped by Northern Ireland. He was part of their squad that made it to the European Championship finals in 2016 in France. Been around the block, his 3rd season here at the DW since he signed from Hull. And that's that for Stephen Humphreys. Fit enough to start, but not fit enough to finish. The Wigan Athletic top scorer.
Let's see if Magennis can bring maybe a little bit more physicality into that front line. Maybe not the most mobile, or not as mobile as Humphreys, but certainly got a bit of experience, and maybe can hold the ball up and get Wigan a little bit further up the pitch. They're just incredibly deep. This is taking a little bit of time, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you see the scars of battle there. He's taken a blow on the nose. Blood from the nose. I'm not sure if that's a result of the nosebleed or whether he's actually got a cut on the bridge of his nose there as well. But he needs patching up. And of course Josh Magennis, who's just come on, Matt, up against his Northern Ireland international teammate Johnny Evans. So they'll know each other well. Well, it might not be a win. We shall see what happens in the remaining half hour here. Might be a replay. As Mike Danson, the saviour of Wigan Athletic. For so long it was Dave Whelan we saw on occasions like this, wasn't it? A long-time benefactor and owner of the club. But since his ownership ended, they've had some very tricky times. This tie represents a stepping stone back in the right direction for Wigan. As Sean Maloney said, Rona gets a look at what can happen in this part of the world when we do succeed, the full houses. Here's Jones.
Just wanted too much time there, Asgard. He's not going to get it in that area of the pitch. He's got to release the ball sooner. Interesting feature about Wigan, they've got no real left-footed player on this side who's going to want to deliver the ball with that left foot.
Here's Manu. Never scored for Manchester United, and Tickle ensures it stays that way. Lost by Shaw. Collected by Rashford. Again, off the toes of Rashford, behind for a Manchester United corner.
That's an important toe. I think they just get to the ball there. There's the strike from Manu. He's going into the bottom corner. The opening was there and he took it.
Claire got his head to it. Bruno Fernandes. And Dalot was underneath it.
Does that count as an effort on goal?
It's open for discussion, isn't it?
Just look, there was 21 efforts from Manchester United on goal. I mean, I'm just thinking Arsenal had 30, wasn't it, against West Ham the other evening. I think we're on target for that if the game continues in this fashion.
Yeah. But as you said, and as everyone is thinking, well, the margin is one.
Yeah. There's still a feel in the stadium, isn't there? There's still a hush of, OK, we're getting dominated, we're not having too much joy, but that scoreline is still sitting at 1-0. We're in this game. It's the FA Cup, anything can happen.
Well, you only need to look back at Manchester United's European campaign, albeit against a different calibre of opposition, but they were in very comfortable positions going into the latter stages of games and still managed to find a way to let things slip and either draw or lose them. The longer that Wigan can keep it like this, you never know.
There's going to come a point where they're going to have to take a little bit more of a gamble, and just these kind of areas, when the ball goes out to Evans or into Varane, now they've got to go get everyone higher as a team and just try and turn the ball over in these kind of areas, as opposed to building through the lines or trying to break Manchester United down. I feel like this is their best chance, Wigan, to get after them in these areas and win the ball here.
Thundered away and out of play by Sam Tickle, Wigan Athletic goalkeeper. Substitute goalkeeper Ben Amos, the keeper who started his career at Manchester United. Actually played for the club before realising he needed to seek his career path elsewhere. McTominay. Manu, well to bring that under control. McTominay. Wan-Bissaka. Garnacho looks to have kept himself onside. He's drilled that one in. McTominay! And another chance goes a-begging.
He's got a real knack, hasn't he, for arriving in the right place at the right time at the moment, Scott McTominay. This is a classic example. He's just anticipating where that ball might pop out, and it's just there. Doesn't quite get a clean hit off.
Manchester United keen to get on with it. They work it to Bruno Fernandes. Took a touch on the way through. United will have another corner.
Another one flashes by off the studs of Asgard there.
Bruno Fernandes. And this, perhaps the moment that Wigan have been waiting for. Godot cantering forward. But Manu stuck with him, kept his eye on the ball. and broke Wigan hearts.
Oh, that's brilliant from Manu. Top play this. I mean, he looks really second favourite. Works hard to get back in the area, and when he does, he says, if you're going to beat me, you're going to do it on the outside. You're not coming in the pitch, which is exactly where Goddo wanted to be. Top defending.
Goddo to run at Garnacho.
Didn't look the most confident here from Banana. Just pats that one down. Maybe just going out of play.
Varane has recovered from that earlier blow to the nose. Højlund. Tane.
He's quite a direct player, isn't he? Højlund. There's one thing in his mind. He gets that ball. He wants to make his way into the best angle he can to get a shot off, but it hasn't happened for him this evening.
Issue here. Sir Dave Brailsford here looking on, part of the new Manchester United setup, the sporting director of Ineos, alongside David Gill, former chief executive. It's been near ever present at Manchester United matches, Sir Dave Brailsford, since the deal for Ineos to take their quarter share in the club was announced on Christmas Eve. Off goes Dalot. This is Bruno Fernandes. Runners right and left, nearly through. Bruno Fernandes sort of taken away from him. Asgard fouled by Manu.
And there were just so many bodies in there. Bruno Fernandes couldn't find a way through. Darlow just showing his superiority in terms of pace and power.
Asgard. Jordan Jones. Out by Varane.
Just the crowd gets up a little bit, don't they, when there's just that little bit of space for somebody to run into or an opportunity to cross the ball. There's a real anticipation around the stadium.
Sessegnon, player with Premier League pedigree, courtesy of his Fulham upbringing, launches it in. Still needs dealing with. Bruno Fernandes away into the path of Rashford. To play. Place in round 4 remains in Manchester United's possession, but this tie remains in the balance. Feels, Matt, in the second half like it's been slightly more conservative from Wigan in terms of their approach. Not that they haven't attacked, they just have been more thoughtful about it. Here's Rashford. Manu from McTominay. Rashford. Godot couldn't hold it. He won't give it up. It took two to dispossess Manu. Rashford now. Bruno Fernandes goes to ground looking for the penalty. And looks like he's got it. Took a while to think about that one, Anthony Taylor. And then pointed to the spot.
Well, it seemed really light for me. And I don't think there's anything on the replay that's going to convince me otherwise. Is there contact? Yes. But there's not enough contact for Bruno Fernandes to fall over. I don't think that's a penalty in my opinion.
Well, no VAR, so no chance for it to be overturned. But there's certainly a chance here for Manchester United to put this tie beyond the reach of Wigan.
Well, he's right on top of that, isn't he, Anthony Taylor? I mean, he can't be in a better position to make a call, and he took his time. You know, it wasn't a snap instinct of, yes, that's definitely a penalty. He looked at it a while and thought about it, and it would be one of those, Bill, that wouldn't get overturned because there was a bit of contact. But Bruno Fernandes can easily stay on his feet there for me. I don't think it meets the threshold of enough contact to be a penalty, but he's won it for Manchester United and he has the opportunity to put it to bed.
The lightest of touches, which leads to the weightiest of opportunities for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, who has missed from the spot this season in the Premier League against Chelsea, up against Sam Tickle of League One Wigan. Sends him the wrong way and surely sends Manchester United through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. There's time, but you struggle to see a way back for Wigan Athletic after that second for Manchester United.
Well, calmly dispatched. I don't think it was ever in doubt. Really relaxed body language approaching his penalty. Slots it perfectly in the corner, really. Very nonchalant, to be honest. I don't think there was a lot of pressure on that for Bruno Fernandes. But I'm not convinced it was a penalty. I mean, that's just not enough contact. It's below that threshold of, yes, there is contact, and that's okay. But is it enough to force a foul? And I don't think that is.
You often hear referees talk about contact with consequence.
Yeah. Well, that consequence was Bruno Fernandes falling over.
Exactly.
That contact did not send him over. And I think that's a hard one for Wigan.
And that appears to be the moment that has taken the tie beyond them. Tickle spills it, but to no ill effect other than a Manchester United corner.
It's another shot on target. That dippy effort is a difficult one for goalkeepers when it just bounces right in front of you.
Given the way that the match was teed up for the final 15 minutes, just feels slightly unsatisfactory that that's the moment that decides it. But Anthony Taylor made his mind up, and Manchester United took full advantage of it.
A hugely experienced referee, but even he pondered for a while, didn't he? Originally I thought he might have given a free kick or something like that, but he really did feel there was enough contact for the penalty.
Well, Wigan have got to go for it now. Sean Maloney is plotting a double substitution, which I think we'll see carried out sooner rather than later. Hoyland. All the noise at the DW Stadium coming from the 7,000 or so Manchester United fans who've made the hour or so trip up from Greater Manchester and its surrounds. Godot.
He's got some nice poise when he carries the ball, Godot, hasn't he? Good shift and change of direction, does a lot of little 180s and 360s, twisting in and out of situations. He's had a good night tonight.
Yeah. He looks like he's belonged in this company.
Yeah.
Time for a change then. Time for a double change. Johnny Smith will come on, and so too will Callum McManaman in his third spell now at Wigan, the first of which saw him line up alongside Sean Maloney in that winning FA Cup side 11 seasons ago. There he is now, 32 years old, Callum McManaman.
Can he bring a bit of FA Cup glory to this game? Would be some turnaround.
Johnny Smith, who is a left-footed midfielder who tends to play on the right-hand side, also coming on along with Callum McManaman. Rashford for Manchester United. Morrison taking care of business.
The two centre-backs have done well as well. Morrison, Hughes, Sessegnon on the left. And they've handled those kind of situations really well.
And Ranneman in strongly. Garnacho didn't like it.
Garnacho just reacting to this challenge. Just there's a little bit of a jump in from McManaman, just to unsettle Garnacho, try and rough the game up a little bit. Certainly looked his intention, didn't it? You could question whether there's been enough of that from Wigan in this game to really get the edge. You know, there had to be something special from them in terms of how they approached it. Just haven't physically quite matched up to Manchester United at times.
Another such occasion there. Rashford. Højlund. Garnacho wants it wide on this right for Manchester United. Garnacho. Bruno Fernandes.
I'm not sure if the crowd think it was a penalty either, do they?
Judging by the noise we just had, I think you're absolutely right. Here's Johnny Smith. Fresh legs, making good ground for Wigan. Smith and Arne are able to bring it in.
A bright burst forwards, one of the few that Wigan have had certainly in the second half.
Garnacho. Rashford. Tickle with the save. Off his line quickly and effectively.
Yeah, good goalkeeping, gets out quick. But Garnacho's looking hungry for me at the moment. You can kind of sense a goal or an opportunity. He's really trying to make it happen.
Højlund. Garnacho. He's determined to get on the score sheet tonight. Here's Alejandro Garnacho.
He's played the game with a really good mindset. He's crossed the ball early, looked dangerous. It's been a good performance from Garnacho.
Sneak it in that near post, Bruno Fernandes. There's Willy Kambwala. He's going to come off the bench for Manchester United, the 19-year-old who has recently made his debut, started the game against West Ham just before Christmas. I saw him come off the bench against Aston Villa, and he comes off the bench here to replace the scorer of the first goal, Diogo Dalot. FA Cup debut for Willy Kambwala. McTominay. Garnacho. As the minutes have ticked on, Matt, so that early charge for Tello Asgard has seemed all the more significant.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? So early in the game for that opportunity to land at his feet. That was kind of how Wigan had to go about it. They need to make the game that type of match, keep that tempo, break in that manner. They just haven't been able to do that enough in this game, and Manchester United have just been like a dominant force, really. They've thoroughly deserved the lead, there's no doubt in that.
Here's Smith. Asgard. Ooh, it had Onana concerned.
He had a little bit of a scramble across, didn't he, Onana? Wasn't sure if this one was going wide, and then just withdraws at the end.
The inevitability of a Manchester United progression grows. But still, this is a good night for Wigan Athletic. Great to welcome opposition of this calibre and just see where they are. See where they have to get to, and also fill this stadium, which usually has at least one stand empty. Tonight packed, 2,872 inside here to see Manchester United come forward and look for a third. Bruno Fernandes. Well, a tale of 2 goals tonight so far, but a tale of a catalogue of Manchester United misses.
Well, there's just been so many, you lose track. Really tries to place that one perfectly in the top corner. Gets it slightly wrong and it's over the crossbar. But we must be getting close to 30-odd efforts on goal.
Deco's lost out. Hoyland looks to cash in. Rashford. He stood his ground well because he knew Hoyland was trying to get across that near post.
I mean, he can't have had that many games where he's been in possession of the ball in those areas so much, Marcus Rashford. Surprised he hasn't added his name to the score sheet either.
A lot of rumours in the media over recent days that Facundo Pellistri may not be at Manchester United for too much longer, whether he leaves on loan or a permanent move away from the club. But he's included in the matchday squad tonight, and he's on for the remaining 3.5 minutes plus added time to replace Garnacho. Varane might be tempted. Off McGuinness and behind for another Manchester United corner.
Oh, big deflection. Gets Tickle scrambling a little bit to his right-hand side, but always drifting wide.
Nice angle on that. Tickle came but didn't get there. Defenders doing enough. This is Smith. Manu, who's had a very accomplished evening in the centre of midfield. Off the arm of McTominay.
I agree. I think Manu has been excellent. He's really done the scruffy things that he's needed to do, and his team haven't really coped in that area of the pitch. Certainly in the first half there was a lot of damage done, and Manu and McTominay have been excellent as a pairing.
A club like Wigan, in a situation such as Wigan's, you need all those little moments to slot into place tonight. Many of them have done at times, but not enough for Manchester United to be really concerned, unduly concerned at any point. McGuinness. Smith. Godot's down in the box. Manu, just on the edge of his 6-yard area, able to get it away.
I'm not sure if Godot's gone down with cramp, but wouldn't surprise me. He has covered some ground this evening and looked very bright and bouncy all the way through this game.
And those are the moments that mean Manchester United on the brink, sealing their place in the 4th round.
The referees indicated there'll be a minimum of 4 minutes added time.
4 minutes tagged on.
Added time.
It was an important game for Manchester United to dominate, really. I think you can tick that objective off and say it's been a measured, accomplished performance with the players they have available. The manager will be relatively happy with how it's gone. Like you say, it's never really been an uncomfortable evening, has it, for them at any time in this game.
100% record in 2024. Late changes. Callum Lang's going to come on for these remaining 3 minutes or so to replace a player who was probably the pick of the bunch for Wigan Athletic, Martial Godot and Marcus Rashford. is off, and a debut for Manchester United for Amari Forson, wearing number 62. He'll come on into the midfield area. And an FA Cup debut for Rasmus Højlund that doesn't produce a debut goal. Hannibal on for him.
Yeah, be disappointed there's no goal. Højlund, probably one of the things that Erik ten Hag would have liked as well out of this game, for his star striker to stay in the rhythm. Listen to strikers talk a lot about having that rhythm in terms of scoring goals, and certainly needs a little bit of that right now.
Callum McManaman letting Facundo Pellistri know he's there.
He's come on the pitch to let a couple of players know, hasn't he, that he's there.
He's man of the match, wasn't he, Callum McManaman, in that final back in 2013. Well, Wigan came into this tie with a record that no one could match in terms of claiming Premier League scalps since their relegation from the Premier League in 2013. 6 times they have beaten opponents in cups from the top division. They're not going to add Manchester United to that roll of honour, or roll of shame, in the eyes of the top division clubs. Arsgaard to Smith. Makes the overlapping run. Smith takes it on. Evans with the block. Cultured one at that. Hughes. Clare to Smith. Seconds remain. Off the back of the head of Pellistri. And putting himself about, so too McManaman. And Pellistri out for Manchester United in the 5th minute now of added time. Morrison halting the progress of Fernandez. Out to Hannibal. Forson. Kambuala. Manchester United avoid a slip-up at the DW Stadium in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. And it is they, rather than Wigan, that will progress to face either Newport County or Eastleigh in round 4. A nervous start, but in the end, smooth progress. Diogo Dalot's goal midway through the first half was all that was between the sides for quite a while, but then Bruno Fernandes, who won the penalty, converted the penalty, and Sean Maloney and Wigan will have to wait another year to match the heroics of 2013 in the FA Cup. Final score at the DW Stadium: Wigan Athletic 0, Manchester United 2.